Check. 1 2 1 2. Sounds like it can be heard. Metrics picking it up. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Okay, hi Facebook. We're live for our game plan show here, a little bit earlier than normal, but I think we're gonna play this at 3 and replay it at 4. So we're tuning into that. We're about to get into the actual show here. It looks like so. We've got this last interview, and then I think a commercial break, and then I think we're live. A little bit different of a way. It sounded well when I went through that test, so it should be good. Listen up here. There it is. Well, then I think that's time. That's right, time for the game plan here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. We're a little bit earlier than normal, but that's because we're out at Bethany Media Day. That's right, we're in the Bethany Middle School Commons area, and we are actually coming up on the end of our first of 2 media days this weekend. Man, it has been a great time. I've loved being out here. You're listening to Luke Young out at Bethany Middle and Mike Gannon down at the studio in OKC. Mike, how has your day been? Mine has been hectic, but it's been enjoyable. That seems to be most days around here, isn't it? It really was fun, and yeah, it's been taking a lot to get this going. That is for sure, and we're still not done. I've got to still schedule our coaches shows, and we got to come back out tomorrow and get it all taken care of. So there's still a lot of work going on, but yes, I've had a lot of fun. I've had 37 recorded interviews right now, and we've been live on Facebook pretty much all day long. Now, did encounter a little bit of trouble, some technical issues here and there, but we got through it, and it really has been a good time. So I think we're actually about to have one more interview to start off our show. I bet you weren't expecting that, Mike. All right, we'll do it. Actually, let's do a live interview. How's that sound? All right, well, here we are. One of the football players has just sat down. Thank you for sitting down to do this. If you would, introduce yourself and tell us your position.
My name's Cruz. I'm a sophomore and I'm a receiver and safety.
All right, there you go. Another skill guy. So, receiver and safety. Now, Cruz, thank you for doing this. Sophomore year, you've come through the program once. You've gotten your 1 year. You've kind of seen what this is all about. How excited are you getting into the sophomore year now that you've done the summer?
I'm actually very excited. Last year our team was full of seniors. I didn't play a lot, but this year, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll get a lot of playing time, get to see the field a lot, get at it.
Hey, I'm right there with you, brother. I'm looking forward to it. Now, do you prefer the offensive or defensive side of the ball, would you say?
Um, this is actually a good question. I, all throughout like middle school and freshman year, I've always liked defense more. But the better I've got at offense, I would say that's more my preference. But I'd say I'm better at defense.
All right, that's a pretty good answer, comprehensive answer there. Now, is it the route running, or what is it you like so much about it?
I like, well, once I get the ball, I'm good in open field. I can just like juke people and all that. But I mean, my routes, I, it's just once I can get open and get the ball, like that's usually where I'm good at. I can get around people.
You're the downfield threat. That's what I'm hearing. You're the guy they go to on a Hail Mary, send them on the go routes and get the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Hey. So we've talked a little bit. Okay, now we've got an introduction to you and what you're doing here. Again, second year in the high school. Um, this season, I'd say there's a lot of expectations for the football team, and I've had a lot of your teammates on for interviews earlier today, and they all say the same thing. They feel like they've got a chip on their shoulder, and I'm expecting a lot of the underclassmen to really step into their roles. So, what are you thinking about that?
I totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just got something to prove this year. I mean, we lost basically our whole starters, like all our starters last year. So I guess we just got to prove ourselves again and definitely, yeah, a lot of the younger guys are going to have to step up and prove themselves that they can play. But yeah, it's definitely going to be different this year.
The goal is to get back to the playoffs, but not just that. It's to supersede what you did in the playoffs last year. It's to improve upon it, go for that state champion title. And you're right. The people are going to, these younger guys are going to have to step up, but just as much so, the older guys, the upperclassmen, are going to have to step up and be real leaders on the field. And I think a good way to start creating that foundation that has been the summer workouts you've been taking part of. So, can you tell us a little bit about the summer program?
Oh yeah, it's been good. I mean, had a lot of guys. We get this award called Show of the Week, and just had our summer awards, and just a lot of those guys, you can really tell they'll be good leaders, and they can just step up anytime anyone needs it. And it's just like those older guys have had a big impact on me. Younger guys, like I think our leadership group will be real good this year too.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I'd like to hear more about that award you guys win. Is that a competition-based thing, or is it a day by day?
It's end of the week, so the coaches they look for 3 people throughout the week who like a young guy, a skilled guy, and like a lineman, and the coaches like just analyze everyone and see who's doing the best that weekend. Whoever's giving the best effort, best attitude, all that, they usually get the award.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's a good way to, again, foster that competition to make sure everybody's coming out. I'm actually going to take some time to try and adjust our Facebook, see if I can get us both in the picture there. There we go. I had Zoom up so I couldn't see it, but now, yeah, there's both of us. We're live on Facebook currently. The game plan, of course, on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk page. Stop by and say hi to us. We're going to continue this conversation here in this first segment. It's an hour-long show. I won't keep you for the full hour, don't worry. But so you just came by me today. You got your pictures taken. You're actually one of the last guys to come by. So did you have any good ideas coming in? Get some good pictures?
No, not really. I heard we're not using pads. That's just.
So you were kind of taken out of it when you heard the no pads. So
It was. I mean, I was just going for like just basic, just football on my arm. I wasn't really gonna do anything crazy today.
I'm telling you, man, all the football guys need to come by me. I can brainstorm with you. We got the piggybacks, okay, with 2 guys. We got the Heisman pose. There's a lot of good ideas here.
Yeah, I mean, I was last year. I definitely did more. I did like a Jordan pose where I had the ball between my legs. But yeah, not this year. I was just doing some basic.
A little bit more relaxed this year. They actually had some pretty cool props over there. They had a sledgehammer, a chain, a lightsaber, all these different things.
Flag last year and the sledgehammer, but
I bet that made it pretty fun.
yeah.
Would like to see that. So you just mentioned that you did the Jordan pose on one of them last year. Do you play more sports than just football?
I played baseball, not basketball, but baseball. Was I went to a track meet last summer, not summer last year, but yeah, just baseball and football.
There you go. And what position in baseball?
I play really all outfield, and I'm a pitcher.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of figured you might be outfield with what you were telling me about the safety and wide receiver positions. Seems like you're a guy who can run a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more like I usually play center field, but if upperclassman is playing center field, I'll just play really anywhere though.
That makes sense. That's a good utility man in the outfield right there. That's what I like to hear. Again, let's circle it back to football a little bit. So, Coach Forrester was here just a second ago. We unfortunately couldn't get him on the show. Maybe tomorrow. But I wanted to ask you about, because you've got new players coming up, but you've also got some new coaches on the program. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about their influence on the program so far.
I haven't really spoke with many of them or talked to a lot of them, but I did. I've talked with one. I don't really know what position coach he is or anything. I think he's coming from Lawton, or he went to Lawton. But he's throughout workouts, he's like helped me on my form and technique and all this, and it's just, I think he'll be a really good coach because he talks you through a lot of things and actually explains everything. I like that about that, and that's just, I like him though. He's real nice.
Yeah, that is good, and it's good to hear that you got a coach that's willing to work with you to spend that time and really get down in the nitty gritty of it. I was a linebacker when I played, but that was all I really liked. I never got back to the safety. I was never the last line of defense like that. What's it like, really being that last line of defense? How do you approach the game as a safety?
I mean, I'd say I'm on I look more for like hitting people hard. I like because I'm faster. I'm not real big though, but I'm faster. But when I can just come downhill and hit people, I can hit them real hard. I just like coming downhill and hitting people. But I'm not really like a ball hawk type of guy. I mean, I've had interceptions last year, but I'm more of a come downhill and try to hit someone.
Okay, I got you. I got you. That makes sense to me. And yeah, that's exactly how I would play too. I mean, well, if you're playing on defense, you should be looking to tackle somebody, right? I mean,
It's yeah. I mean, we had team camp and I was just looking for contact the whole time. I'm pretty sure the first day I had a concussion. Got a concussion hitting someone, but I just played through them. It was it was hurting. I was ringing. I was
yeah, you got it rocked a little bit.
yeah. I was dizzy. Yeah.
That's funny. You gotta be careful with those, man. CTE, man. Don't have the new padded helmets in high school.
Oh yeah. Nah. I mean, yeah. I had one last year and I stood up, just passed out. It was scary, but yeah. This one wasn't as bad. I knew. I don't know if I just got hit hard, or if I had a concussion, but yeah, I was definitely dizzy and I was ringing.
Well, I'm glad you're here now and you're okay. That is scary. You gotta be careful with that stuff. But yeah, to your point, getting downhill, hitting people, it's all about the angles when you're a safety like that. If you cut the guy off at the wrong spot, he's gonna be able to get by, and you gotta be careful.
Yeah, you definitely can't. You got to take that back hip. Can't get juked out. Just gotta play smart. That's what my problem was last year. I would just try to run full speed and go hit someone, and I wouldn't take the right angle. They would just juke me. I wouldn't be on their back. I would try to go too far in front of them, and they would just cut right next to me, and I couldn't really do anything about it. I was going full speed.
I get that, but even right there, you just showed off your ball IQ, your ball knowledge, showing us, okay, you knew what you were doing wrong and you knew how to fix it, and now you've got a plan going forward. So we've got about 4 minutes left on this segment, then we'll send it to our first commercial break here on the show. But getting back into it, I actually just blanked on the question I was going to ask. Oh yeah, okay, so we're good. We're professionals here. Getting into next season, everybody's calling out the Tuttle game as the big one everybody's looking forward to. Now, if that's the team goal, that in the playoffs, do you have a personal goal you're going for?
Not really. I mean, when you hear Tuttle, especially from Bethany, it's like they have like a fear factor. It's like anytime anyone hears Tuttle, they're like, oh crap, Tuttle. But I mean, next year, I'm hoping I can have an impact. At least hoping I could do something, but not necessarily a certain goal I have for that game.
I understand that, and yeah, I mean, from your positions, you'll have every chance in the book, I think, to make that impact you're looking for. But yeah, the football guys that have come past are like, we want to beat Tuttle this year. We want to go to Tuttle and lay it on them.
I personally think Tuttle's winning it this year. I mean, they're just loaded with guys. Elgin was good last year. They won it, but they lost their whole team. Their whole team was seniors, but they're just like stacked with younger guys. Like, they just got to line up.
Hey, remember, don't ever count yourself out, though. You played them really closely in the playoffs last year, although they finally got it from you there. So anything could happen. Now, it is a tough environment. To his point, they're going to Tuttle this year, and that's going to be a tough field to play on. But don't ever count anything out. I think you might be able to get it done this year.
I mean, maybe. Last year we were holding them for a while, and then just, I don't know, our defense let up, and they just kept scoring. I don't know what really happened, but I mean, yeah, maybe we might have a chance. It just depends how much better we get throughout the season, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's still a long time before that game, so you've got the entire, basically, first half of the season before you get there. So you're going to have all that time to improve, to come together as a squad, and then you get that real big test. But everybody, we on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk are going to be out there broadcasting all those games, so you can follow along live online there. We're really looking forward to it. I think that Tuttle game is going to be really fun. But we'll also be looking to see how you improve throughout the season and see how your career comes along.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking forward to the title game, but definitely looking forward to the season though.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Hey, you've been a great guest coming on. For the people watching again, tell us your name one more time.
My name's Cruz Burleson.
Thank you, Cruz. Hope you had a great day today, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Appreciate it. Hey, we're going to send it to our first commercial break here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Still 3 segments left. We're going right up till 4. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, we are coming back after this. Okay, coming back on the Facebook. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a day. Has been a day. We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, we are now officially back here for segment number 2 of the game plan. Extended break. We're sorry about that, but we're now back into the talk. Yeah, that interview you heard in the first segment is just a snippet of what we had going on all day. It's really been a great day out here at Bethany Middle. Um, Big thank you to Bethany Public Schools for allowing us to do this. Big thank you to State Farm, Blake Nightingale at State Farm for putting out the foam footballs and everything they did for us. John Campbell Health Markets out here as well. Zaxby's came by, got those free meal deals. Our sponsors helping us put this on are really what make this all happen. I mean, as much as the people watching and the students coming by and taking care of the interview part with me, um, we really are appreciative of the sponsors we have. So big thank you to them. Getting into, I guess we'll have to get into the sports talk, but I want to talk about the high school a little bit more. Volleyball, softball, and football all had representatives come by today, and if you were listening to the interviews before this show started, you might have heard a little bit about what they're expecting from this upcoming season. Right there, we just got to look at football, okay? They've graduated a lot of people, they've lost a lot of people, they made the playoffs last year, and they just want to get back, but they've got a lot of big roadblocks in the way. They've got to come together as a group and overcome teams like Tuttle, who, as we just heard, are going to be very, very good again. They see themselves as the underdog. They've got some chips on their shoulders, and they're going to take that into the start of the season, into every game, and really play like, as they say, like no one believes in them, because that's how they feel right now. They feel like they've got something to prove, and I think for a football team that has so many young guys, people that need to step up, Mike, I think this is a good outlook for them to have. It does kind of sneak up on you quick sometimes, yeah. But yeah, that's where football sits right now. They're confident, but I feel like they understand where they're at and what they have to do in this upcoming season to get back to where they need to be. That's my big takeaway from football is that that's a team that has understood expectations, right? They're ready for what this season is going to bring and throw at them. Yeah, I agree with you there. And the trust that the players are building between each other and the coaches seems to be on full display in this summer camp now. We move on to softball. They're also a team that got very close to the state championship, but they don't appear to have quite the same attitude about it that football does. Whereas football is head down, we got something to prove, we're going to take it to them again. Softball is, we got to take this more day by day. We got to keep enjoying the game, going in and out of days playing for each other. And for the two different scenarios, okay, I think softball has also got it figured out in a good way. They kind of encapsulate the other aspect of competitions where you are playing for yourself and for the girls that take the field with you. They feel, maybe not so much as volleyball, but they feel like they've got a little bit of a target on their back. And they have a very set goal of hosting regional, host their district, be one of those top 2 seeds. And to do that, they don't see it as some major war campaign that they've got to go on, but they see it as going day in and day out and just playing for each other. I don't know how many of those interviews you really got to listen to with softball because we had a lot and we played them pretty randomly, but that was a great group of girls and we were excited to get the chance to talk to them, and they did not disappoint. I think so too, because they didn't actually graduate that many. Kind of the opposite from football again. They did not lose a lot of seniors, a lot of upperclassmen. And I think they will be. I think they're in a prime position to make a run for that state title. Absolutely, I think they are. And they get started on August 12th, really early. Less than 2 weeks away, folks. We'll be out there. It is already here. And our final fall sport, well, I shouldn't say final. We had two more fall sports because we actually saw a lot of cross country athletes come out and chat with us. Now, I wasn't sure how many of them we'd get, Mike, but that's a team that takes some pride in themselves as well. If you want a group of athletes that really goes out there with the intent to make themselves better, that's cross country for you this year. Now, their interviews. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that was. I mean, high school down to middle school. No matter what level they were at, they were like, "I'm out there because I want to get better, stronger, faster. I want to bring a time down. I want to win this event." There's all about that personal growth and improvement, which I thought was impressive, especially out of some of the kids that young. They're out there running 5Ks, Mike. That's ridiculous. I don't ever want to run a 5K, but they're out there doing it like every day on the weekend. It's nuts. But yeah, I mean that's just again speaks to the culture they have built up here. Every athlete at every level is kind of getting invested in by this Bethany culture of winning, of that personal growth and improvement, which is awesome to see. It really is. And before we go to break, our final sport to talk about for the fall has been volleyball. Now, we got a lot of their interviews at the start of the day. They came by pretty early on because they had scrimmages and things happening. They are more leaning towards what softball was, where they've already won the state championship. But to keep their expectations in check this year, they are doing the softball thing of going day in and day out, not really riding the highs or the lows too much, but just enjoying it and playing for each other. Now, I asked them that. I'm pretty sure I asked every softball player that, how are you keeping those expectations in check? And they all said, it's just we're showing back up out there like we did before we had won it. They don't see it as any different. They've hit the top of the mountain, right? They finished the climb. They're just like, we'll just do it again. I mean, you love to see it. Don't mention any NFL football to me right now. I'm not in a good mood talking about NFL football. Yeah. Yep. That is their attitude, and again, it suits them perfectly because that organization, that program that Coach Gary Cagle has built up is just beyond impressive. They know who they are, they know what they got to do, and they're going to get it done this year. That much is for certain. And more power to them. I'm excited to see their games in the fall. I think they have a good chance to go back. Now, they've got their returners, and they've got a new class coming in, but top to bottom, they're a very deep volleyball club. And I think that works in their favor a lot. Well, I think that about covers it for all our high school sports, Mike. Is there anything else you'd like to mention after listening to all those interviews I did? Yeah, I think we had as low as sixth grade at one point. Yes. Yes, that was an impressive family. Let me tell you, I got to meet their father after that. He is a very humble man. Maybe not someone you would expect to be an Olympic athlete, but he was wearing all the Olympic gear. But yes, very humble man. He's very kind. Yeah. So there's your rundown on the high school sports, our summary of the media day. It's been a great day out here. We'll be back tomorrow. Look forward to that. We'll have way more interviews coming your way. But I think we got to take it to our next commercial break. We're at the halfway point of the show. You're listening to the game plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Whew. Halfway done. Halfway done. Okay, we are back. Now past the halfway point of our show here on the game plan, Gospel Station Sports and Talk. We are live coming at you from Bethany Middle School. We've been out at the media day all day long, and it's been a great day. I got out here at 7 in the morning, so I've been out here for a while, but it's been a good time. Been interviewing athletes this whole time, getting these stories and finding out more about the kids and the athletes. It's been great. But I think it's finally time to pivot away from the high school sports talk and get into the normal college and professional sports talk. And I don't want to really talk about it, but I feel like we kind of have to. Mike, you saw the headlines. You mentioned it in one of our earlier segments. Tell us the news. Yes, yes. Uh, it doesn't get better. It just doesn't get better. It's just one thing after another with Dallas right now. I mean, we they got Pickens. We're like, oh yeah, yeah, another wide receiver, another weapon for Dak. And I was like, okay, we got a couple of new running backs, hooray! And then you lose your best player on the defense because your ownership is terrible. and your general manager doesn't know what he's doing anymore. And it's just Mike, they're the laughing stock of the NFL. Mm. Now, I mean, he just requested the trade, but it's a big deal that he requested the trade officially. Will he walk? We don't know yet, but this is not a good sign for the Dallas Cowboys. Not at all. Parsons has been very public about some of his views on the Cowboys and what they're doing in their ownership. We thought, despite that, they were still going to pay him. They were still going to let him play. But they don't want to play him. They don't want him there anymore, no matter what he brings to the team. And now it's finally gotten to the point where Parsons doesn't want to be there anymore. He said, okay, I'm too valuable for this. I understand what I'm worth. I'm not going to let Jerry Jones do what he does to players in Dallas anymore. He's not going to let him do it to him anymore. It's just, that's the message. At some point, this is going to have to change, or it's just going to keep on like this. And Jerry is never going to learn. He's too stubborn. Mm. Mm. It just, I don't know what it is, but he never learns. And now the situation repeats. Now, excuse me, the main issue here was a contract dispute because Watt signed a big deal recently. And obviously, Parsons is going to want to match and pass that because that's just the kind of valuable player he is. Yeah, yeah, which is insane, by the way. That insane that you would say that about your own player, by the way. I don't get it, man. It's like everything that you wouldn't want to do as an owner and manager is what they're doing right now. And again, a reminder: this is after Parsons showed up to the training camps without a deal made. This is after Parsons said he wants to be more of a leader for that team, and then they basically go behind his back. Not really go behind his back, but they won't get the deal done with him. They don't value him at all in that front office. Now, Dallas has been in a weird spot, whether it's come to succeeding and not succeeding, but at least, I mean, if you look up an article, I found one on Yahoo Sports just after a quick Google search. The sentiment seems to be the same: is that requesting this trade is a bad look for Dallas, but they probably won't let him go. Which, honestly, at this point, is that better or worse? I can't really tell. Now, because now you're keeping a disgruntled player on the team and still dragging his name through the mud, by the way. So, it's just how did we get here, man? How did we get here? Yes, yes, he did. But, mm, yeah, I mean, he made them the most valuable or second most valuable franchise in the world. You know, he did that, but he just didn't know when to let it go. And we're seeing the fallout. That's what it is. Mm. You sound just like him right there. Yeah. Yep. Well, I guess there's our rant on Dallas for the day. Yeah, disappointing is a good word. Um, the Hall of Fame game that happened, the first preseason game, I think they call it the Pro Football Hall of Fame, between the Chargers and the Lions, was won by the Chargers by a final of 34-7. So that has basically officially kicked off the season. So it is football time in Oklahoma and in America. So we'll be covering those as we go. But I'm depressed. So listen to our next commercial break. Then we'll round out the show in the next 15 minutes. That's how it always goes. And that takes us into the final segment on today's show. You're listening to the Game Plan on the Gospel Station, Sports and Talk, live from Bethany Middle School. We've been out at the Media Day all day long, and it's been a great time. We've had athletes from every sport under the sun come by. It was really great. I'm excited to come back out and do it tomorrow. But to round out this show, there's one major event that happened in baseball yesterday that I think we want to talk about in depth a little bit more. This thing called the trade deadline passed, and two teams basically abandoned ship. They sold everything. The Twins sent everybody away, and the Padres traded their entire farm system away. They traded 12 prospects in one day, including 7. 3/4 of those were pitchers. What? They traded away the number one, I believe, prospect in their organization, the number 3, 4, 6, 7, 12, all the way up to 29. They traded away some really good guys. And obviously, the question everybody's going to ask after that is, did you get enough back? Most people would say no. Most people would say no, the Padres actually came out on the wrong side of this. I'm going to pull up an article here that kind of breaks down everything. Let's see here. I've got a breakdown on the Mason Miller trade, which was one of the first ones. This is AJ Casavel on the MLB app, breaking these down. So the Padres got Mason Miller and JP Sears, and they gave up their number one prospect, Leo DeVries, and their number 3 prospect, Braden Nett, their number 13 prospect, Henry Baez, and their number 17th, Eduardo Nunez. Miller is one of the best relievers in the game right now, but this was just a pull to strengthen their bullpen. You know, they don't really care where he slots in their rotation. They just want another dominant arm out of the pen. And JP Sears is kind of just like that security net, I guess you could call it. Now, when we get on, again, JP Sears, left-hander. Left-handers are very valuable right now. It makes sense there. But again, that's a lot of really good prospects. They got Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano for a bunch of prospects again. Now, this is, according to this article, exactly what the Padres have been looking for. Okay, Ryan O'Hearn was on a deal that was running out, and they pick up position players that fill spots they needed. Okay, now the Padres need help on infield. They needed help in pinch hitting. They had a lot of areas they were looking to fill, and it looks like they got something like that. Now, Freddie Furman was a catcher they got from the Royals. This one I didn't know much about, so I had to look into it. He is slashing a 255, 309, 339, which is pretty good for a catcher. Again, catchers are never going to be real big offensive threats, except if your name is Cal Raleigh or like Bud Rodriguez, but yeah. Yeah, so really in the history there have been a few catchers who are big offensive threats, but catchers nowadays aren't usually big offensive threats. Now, here's what I didn't know. San Diego, through the first months of the season, ranked 27th in the majors in offensive production with Martin Maldonado and Elias Diaz splitting time. they went for a strict upgrade over him. But actually, a lot of people, and this is where it kind of creeps back in, are saying the price was too high. They gave up right-handed pitcher Stephen Kolek and right-handed pitcher Ryan Berger. And Kolek is a pretty big name right now. Yeah, so the Padres, of course, giving up pitchers, had to get more back. And then they got Nestor Cortez. Cortez was also on a deal that was running out, but he hasn't been just the absolute ace he has been in years past. But apparently, the front office is really big on not just getting the left-handed help, but the prospect they got attached to him, Jorge Quintana. Quintana was a Brewers prospect, switch hitting shortstop out of Venezuela. So they have high hopes for him to make a name for himself and become a stable role player, or excuse me, a stable player on the infield in his roles. Of course, they also traded away Brandon Valenzuela. That was a prospect. They got Will Wagner. Oh yeah, by the way, Will Wagner's dad, Billy Wagner, was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, so that's cool. But they also immediately optioned Wagner to AAA. Again, that's kind of more of a depth pull, but the price for, say, the catchers, the price for, it's always going to be for getting guys you're going to send right down to the minors. We saw that with Boston. Did they get enough, one, to compete with Los Angeles, and two, for what they gave up? Because they gave up a lot of prospects. Remains to be seen, I guess. I hate just going straight to it, but only time will tell if this pulls off. They're 3 games behind LA right now, and LA got some serious help of their own to kind of help get them out of their slump. Padres were hot in their last 5 on a 5-game win streak, but I just don't know. They ruined, I mean, completely nuked the farm system to do this. They're going into win now mode, and if they don't win now, it's all going to come crumbling down. So the Padres sold all their farm system. The Twins sold all of their starting, all of their starting lineup. Yes. It was very funny because that was the team that sent, by the way, Correa back to Houston, which was not on anybody's radar. Now, I mean, Twins getting rid of it. They're getting prospects back. They're getting cash. They're getting names. We'll see what the Twins do with this. But yeah, the headliner there, Correa back to Houston. That wasn't on my Houston friends' radar. They weren't expecting that. That reunion kind of came out of left field. Hmm. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's been a big media shakeup. You've always reported on it on this show. There's a lot of things changing right now. So, where we all go from here, whether you're a team, you're an owner, you're a fan, there's a lot up in the air. And I think, honestly, this upcoming season is going to shed a lot of light on where we go from here. Mm. Some breaking news. We've got some stuff from around both sports. For that Speedway series that we've been covering a little bit, Spencer Strider starting for the Braves and Chase Burns is starting for the Reds. Both of them went to high school and grew up in Tennessee, and it's the first time that will ever happen. So the first game in AL NL history to take place in Tennessee, and both starting pitchers grew up there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, nice story. The Sooner Athletic Conference, the conference I played in college, has officially announced their new streaming partnership with Urban Edge Network. That is the same network that we talked about signing with NAIA Ball. So there's another media deal for you. MLB has officially announced that Wrigley Field will host the 2027 All-Star Game. And the rumors are flying around that maybe Boston could have it by 2028. But it looks like 2027 will be in Chicago. Terry McLaurin has requested a trade from the Commanders. That broke yesterday. Now, again, that's another big name requesting a trade from an NFC East team that has made some questionable decisions recently. Where he ends up, because I actually don't know his situation as well, if they're going to allow him to go or not. But that's another name to keep an eye on where he ends up. And finally, Fox released their 2025 NFL Power Rankings. According to Fox, Dallas would be ranked number 19 out of 32 teams, with Philadelphia being the best team in the league and Cleveland being the worst. They have Baltimore as number 2, Kansas City as number 3, Buffalo as number 4, and Green Bay as number 5. Hey, justice for my boy Baker down in Tampa Bay. What are we doing? Number 11 out of the top 10? Come on now. I think so too. I think Baker's that dude, but oh, we've made it to the end of the show. You've been tuning in on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. This has been the game plan. We've been live all day long with our shows, doing interviews, and I hope everybody enjoyed. But now it is time to sign off. We'll be back out here tomorrow. Thank you, Mike, for everything you've done today. I will talk to you tomorrow. And to everybody who tuned in, thank you as well. Have a great rest of your night, and God bless. Whew. That's it. And to the Facebook, while I've got you here, thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the streams earlier today. We'll try to do them tomorrow without any technical difficulties. So stay tuned for those. I'm tired. I'm running out of energy here. So have a great rest of your night. God bless you.